I started YouTube at 57 years old, and I honestly had no idea what I was doing. But I saw a bunch of people my age starting a YouTube channel and was told that this was a really great time for Gen Xers and baby boomers to be starting a YouTube channel. So I took the challenge. And for a while, nothing really happened. But then Christmas Day, I got monetized. And since that time, it has been a whirlwind of excitement and activity. I've made money and I've learned a few things along the way. And I really want to give back and teach you what I've been learning because I've realized that there are a few things that matter way more than people think. And there are some other things that matter a whole lot less. So if you're 40, 50, 60, thinking about starting a channel, this one is for you. Hi, my name is Lisa. I am a proud Canadian, a grandma, a mom, and retired teacher. And normally I talk about what it's like to start all over again in your 50s as a solo person in the second act of life here. But I also do some videos about the YouTube journey, and that's what today's is all about. Lesson number one is that every video has a chance. And I absolutely love this idea because I realized that YouTube has changed. It used to be all about the number of subscribers that you had, and that is going to be a big reason as to why your videos would be successful or not. But things have changed. And so every single video you put out there has an opportunity to do really well, regardless of how many subscribers you have. I want you to take a look at this. This represents the majority of my videos. Notice that the numbers in blue, these are the people who are not subscribed to my channel, are actually representing a higher number of views. 75% on this particular video are non-subscribers. And if you look at the last column, they contributed almost 64% of my watch time to this video. Now, most of my videos are like this, not all, but most of them. And this tells me that YouTube is constantly pushing my videos out to new people, new viewers, future subscribers who might be interested in my content, which is a wonderful feeling because I know that YouTube is working on my behalf to look for people who want to watch my videos. Another thing I noticed is that the people who are subscribed, like let's look at the areas highlighted in yellow, even though they represent a smaller amount of views and a smaller amount of my watch time, look at the average view duration. This means that compared to a stranger who watched for 2 minutes and 54 seconds, a follower would actually watch 4 minutes and 54 seconds. And that translated to the average percentage of my video viewed was 43.7% compared to the 26% of a stranger watching it. That means that the people who have already subscribed know me, trust me. They're actually watching my videos longer. So that's a trust thing. They already have a sense of relationship with you, so they're more interested in what you have to say. So when you put the two together, people who are going to stick around longer because they already know you, and the fact that YouTube is putting your videos out to a whole bunch more new people, it's a win-win for you. But this does not mean that every video that we put out there is going to do well. It's so frustrating because sometimes you can really put a lot of work into a video and thinking, okay, this is it, this is the one, and nothing. It doesn't do anywhere near as well as some other ones. And then there will be another video where you just kind of speak your mind on a particular topic and whew, it just takes off. This happened to me with a video I did on downsizing because I just finished moving into my new condo and I was really kind of overwhelmed by dealing with all of the stuff from my mom. And I was saying, okay, I'm not going to put my kids through this. And I talked about that in this video. And that was the video that actually made my channel take off. And then the interesting thing was that it triggered another video on the channel about retirement that had really done nothing, but then people found that video and it all of a sudden took off. And that was what led to me being monetized. So you just never really know, you guys. We can try different strategies in order to give our video a chance to take off. So here's a really common strategy that people use. is they'll see a video that's doing really well, and then they will kind of model after the thumbnail and the title. But here's the thing, and I want to show you an actual example of this. Up on the left is a man named Larry. He has a channel called Retirement Survival, and he's an inspiration to me. He's 72, and it's been a lot of fun to watch him grow. But notice the title on his video, How Much YouTube Paid My Small Channel in 2025. He has 2 million views on that one video over a 3-month period of time. Now look over here and notice that people basically use the exact same title, How Much YouTube Paid My Small Channel in 2025. Notice the view count, 7.2 thousand, 675, 554. Even a massive YouTube channel such as vidIQ only got 133K views for the exact same title. So just using that exact same title is not going to guarantee that your video is going to become viral and take off. And so why did Larry's video just take off while the other ones did not? Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes YouTube just finds the right audience. And if I knew the exact reason, I would be making viral videos after viral videos. But what I do know is that we cannot emotionally collapse whenever a video that we put so much work into underperforms. Instead, once that video is done, think, okay, the next video is my next opportunity. Because your job is to not control the algorithm. Your job is to keep giving the algorithm opportunities. And just remember that one video can change your whole channel. And you know what? I'm proof of that. Lesson number 2 is to stay in your lane. Now, what I mean by this is I've seen quite a few people reach out to me saying, hey, can you take a look at my channel, what I'm doing wrong? And I do feel a little awkward doing that because I am not a YouTube expert. But what I have noticed is a common thread. And what people are doing are mixing it up too much. So, for example, when you start a YouTube channel, YouTube is trying to figure out who you are. They're trying to categorize you. So if you're talking about retirement in one video, and then the next you're talking about makeup, and then politics, and then recipes, not only does your audience get confused, but so does YouTube. They're trying to figure out what you're all about so that they know who to send your videos to. Does this mean you have to stick to one topic and stay there forever? No. You got to think about it in terms of like pillars. So think about what's your overarching theme. Like for me, my channel is called Solo Second Act. So I'm talking about things like starting over as a single person after retirement. So of course, I'm going to talk about divorce, retirement, my independence, finances, things that accompany us Gen Xers, such as the empty nest syndrome and the sandwich generation and grandkids and all the challenges that we have at this stage of our lives, especially as a solo person. But if I all of a sudden started talking about gardening, then not only would I be confused because I'm not a gardener, and I'd be going, what? I don't even know what to say. But so would the YouTube algorithm, right? It's not a concept within the niche that I've created. So remember that your niche or those pillars that I just mentioned are not about just what you want to talk about. It's what other people, your subscribers, they're expecting you to talk about these things so they come back for more. Now, lesson number 3 ties into this concept as well, because another thing I'm noticing is that people will have a whole bunch of videos on their YouTube channel, but really be frustrated because they're not monetized yet or they're not getting anywhere. But I'm noticing that their videos are maybe 1-2 minutes long. That's all. It's really hard to get your watch hours. You need 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. And so that's hard to achieve when you're only making 1 and 2 minute videos. And to be perfectly blunt, YouTube wants people to stay on the platform longer because this is how they make their money. So people have asked me, how does the whole AdSense thing work? Well, anytime advertisers are putting their ads on the YouTube platform, YouTube is getting paid. So they're making money on these ads, whether you're monetized or not. But once you hit that certain threshold, Now they're sharing that revenue with you. That's why they call it a partnership program. You're just getting a cut of what YouTube would already be making anyway, but you have to earn it, right? So they want you to be keeping people on the platform for as long as possible. And that's why those 4,000 watch hours are harder to get, and why the whole longer watch time really matters. Now, this does not mean that you need to make 20-minute rambling videos about nothing, because people don't like that either. But you have to have a very specific topic, get to the point, make your explanations. They talk about the sweet spot being between 9 and 11 minutes. I need to work on that because I tend to be a little long winded. But you know what? If your videos are giving people value, they will stay with you, even if your videos are 20 minutes long. Okay, and that brings us to lesson 4, because then the question becomes, well, what about shorts versus long form? Okay, so if you want to do just shorts, then that's great. And lots of people on YouTube are doing really well doing just shorts. You need to have 1,000 subscribers again, but you need to have 10 million views. Now, you got to think about your audience, because people in my demographic, like midlifers, Gen Xers, baby boomers, we're not necessarily going to be watching a ton of these shorts. We actually want to sit down with a coffee and enjoy, a 15-minute video about a particular topic that is going to be of interest to us and maybe even be helpful to us. But the younger generation, they tend to really enjoy the shorts. And the shorts that I've noticed that do really well are these dancing ones and music ones, robot ones. There's an online game called Roblox, and those videos tend to do very well. But for me, I just tend to put a few shorts out there, just little snippets of the long form videos that I've made. And basically, they're just a tool to grab attention and then direct people to my long form video. And by the way, shorts do not contribute to your watch time. They are going to be monetized separately on their own. So if I somehow manage to get 10 million views on my shorts, then I could actually be monetized on my shorts as well as my long form video. And some channels have achieved that, but it's not a goal I'm going for. This brings us to lesson number 5, and that is the most common question I get. How do you know what to talk about? People will say, I want to create a YouTube channel, but I don't know what to talk about. And here's the thing, is the channels that grow consistently are the ones that are solving problems. So they are teaching or comforting or entertaining or simplifying things or inspiring people or helping people feel less alone. I think of YouTube as a bit of like a university. You can learn so much on YouTube. Just like Google, it truly is search-based. But people are not just looking for information anymore. They're looking for connection. They're looking for authenticity, especially in today's age of AI. They want real people. They want to hear real life experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. They want to hear it. They want to know that they're not alone. But here's something that you really have to remember whenever you are making a video. Remember that you're making the video for your viewer, not for you, because they're going to click on your video and go, what's in it for me? So when you're creating that video, ask yourself, am I addressing this to the audience that I know I have? Is this somehow going to help them with questions that they have? Now, this is your channel. So if you feel like just venting every once in a while, like we all want to, go for it. But when you can take an experience that you've had and turn it into something beautiful for somebody else, a lesson for them to learn and understand that they're not alone in the same kind of issue, then that is where YouTube can be very powerful. And if you want to know what is it that your audience wants to hear about, look at their comments. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually copy all of the comments and paste it into, let's say, ChatGPT or Claude, and I'll say, please give me a summary of what the overall comments are and give me the top 10 questions that my audience has. And then that gives me ideas as to what to create in terms of the next videos. And here's a perfect example, lesson 6. I've received a few questions about thumbnails and titles and how they should look. I will repeat, I am not a YouTube expert, but what I've learned, and so what I tried to follow is that your thumbnail and your title should work together as a team. They should not compete with one another. They should complement one another. So don't use the same words in your thumbnail as you do in your title. Another important point is to make sure that you only have 2 or 3 words on your thumbnail and make them very large and easy to read. Because when people are scrolling through these videos on their phone, you want that wording to pop out. So use bright letters. You also want your face to be on there because you want people to connect your YouTube videos with your face. So when they see your face, they go, aha, and I recognize that person. And they're going to click on it if they like you and want to follow you. Also, use wording that will somehow elicit curiosity from your viewers as well. But whatever you do, please don't use clickbait. It is just so frustrating. And what I mean by clickbait is you say something really provocative on your thumbnail. And so people will click on it thinking they're going to get something kind of juicy. And then you're talking about something completely different. So you feel like you kind of got cheated or lied to, bamboozled, and you go, yeah, I don't trust you anymore. And that trust, it matters way more than one video that happens to do well. Please remember that your title should use SEO words. What that means is search engine optimization words. So these are words that people will actually type into YouTube as they're looking for something. Now, after saying all of that, I do want to go back to my first picture here about Larry. This is actually his thumbnail. It's just a picture of him. There's no words on there. I've noticed that he started putting words on his latest videos, but that's only been lately. So I think the bottom line is this. Your thumbnail and your title is a great way for YouTube to put your video in front of other people in the first place. So just like curb appeal of a great house, right? But if they walk through that front door and the inside of the house is just gross, in other words, your video offers them nothing that they're interested in, then just like you wouldn't come back to that house for a second look, they're not going to come back to your channel for a second look. The most important part is making sure that you have videos that give them value. Lesson 7 is all about the equipment. You do not need fancy equipment to get going. The first 11 videos of my channel were all done on my iPhone, and I was using what's called Hollyland microphones. And they're just these little guys that click to your shirt. You see a lot of people using these things because they're quite easy and inexpensive. Unless you're in a closed environment like this office, then the microphone on your iPhone is not really going to do a great job, and you want to make sure that people can hear you. I had one tripod selfie stick, just a basic one that I got from Amazon, nothing fancy about it. And I had one ring light, which I don't even use anymore because people were complaining about it showing up in my glasses. So now I have a box light. But to be honest with you, what I try to use the most amount of time is natural light. Natural light is your best source of light. So you'll notice that the videos when people are walking outside, that lighting is amazing. If you set up in front of your window, put some sort of sheer over top of it, because the lesson I learned is that it will wash you right out. So you want to sort of mute the brightness of the sun. What I use now to record is what's called a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And the real reason I got that was because I was hoping to motivate myself to record more because I went through quite a slump there for about 5-6 months where I didn't make any videos because I got down. I let myself get down. So don't do that. And the second reason was because I kept running out of storage on my phone. So I decided I need to have a different way to do these videos. And do I like the Osmo 3? Yeah, I like it a lot. But do not think that you need something like that to start with. This is all you need. And my last little tidbit would be you need a thick skin. If you're going to put yourself online, people will criticize you. The honest truth is you cannot be creating a YouTube channel thinking that everyone is going to like you. You are not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and some people will let you know it. They will criticize the way you look, the way you talk, the things that you've said. They'll call you a liar. The list goes on and on. But also know that you have some agency in that. You can block these people. You can choose to ignore them. You can use some humor and say something funny back to them and just make light of it. Totally up to you. But here's the thing is that YouTube wants people to be engaging on your channel. Even when they are giving you a thumbs down or saying something nasty in the comments, they're still engaging. So that's a big thumbs up for you. So maybe we should just say thank you. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm too old, I'm too late, I'm not technical enough, I don't know enough, please stop talking yourself out of trying. Because honestly, YouTube has been a game changer for me. It's helped me out financially. In fact, I just booked a cruise based on the money that I've made on YouTube. But it's also given me that creative outlet. It's given me a purpose in retirement. And in a really cool way, it's showing me that in this solo second act of my life, I am just beginning. So no, not every video will work, but every video gives you another chance. And sometimes one video changes everything. And that, my friends, is why you should start. So I hope this video has given you some things to think about, given you some tidbits to help your channel along. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and maybe even subscribing, because it does help a channel like mine, I would surely appreciate it. In the meantime, have a wonderful day.